Hey guys, what's up? This is Jay. This is my opinion on, this is what we should do because everybody nowadays is hating Hollywood because they want to see new movies. They hate every movie that's coming out nowadays because they say, stop making remakes, we want to see something new. But then everybody keeps going to see the remakes. They keep going to see movies that are the same old movie every time. Hollywood's not going to keep making those movies if they don't keep making a lot of money off of it, okay? Because if they don't earn enough money with an idea, they stop using that idea. And the idea that they seem to be making millions of dollars off of is remakes, okay? Everybody says stop making remakes, we want to see something new and fresh. New and fresh. But then, half the time people don't know what the heck they even want to see, Like, we want something new and fresh. Well, then what is new and fresh to you anyway, Well, they've used a lot of ideas already, I mean, I'm sure there's, new ideas for new kinds of movies. Like, they could make, like, a splatterpunk kind of movie, Which, I don't know much about splatterpunk. I just, I know a little bit about it. Of course I already have plain splatter movies, so I guess because splatterpunk isn't that much of a punk, like punk rock kind of thing. But, anyway, they say, they want to stop seeing, and by something new, they mean they want to stop seeing the same thing over and over again. Well, what we need to do is stop going to movies that are the same thing over and over again, because they make billions of dollars from these movies. I'm not entirely sure about billions, but maybe around that. Billions for sure. They, off of making the same old movie over and over again. Not necessarily remakes, exactly, but, making different movies that are similar to each other all the time. And, making remakes. They make remakes, like, a lot. And that's unnecessary. And people say, remakes are a disgrace to the old movie. It's like, well, then why did you go and watch every remake that came out? If you hate it so much, stop watching it. I, too, hate remakes. I've seen 2 remakes in my whole life, and after that I decided I'm through with remakes, because the 2 remakes that I've seen sucked. They were boring, and just, plain boring. So, that's why I don't, participate in watching remakes. I don't pay to go see them. And if we, everybody that hates remakes, if we stop doing that, that's a huge portion of profits that they're making that they won't be making anymore because we've stopped going to see it. And they realize that the reason why we're not going to see it is because it's a remake. And so they're going to stop making remakes, like, constantly. I'm sure that won't be the end of remakes, but they're not going to do that as much as they do it. As much as they do, they need to make, like, a new, like, slasher movie. I mean, I know they had tons of slashers from the 80s and 90s, which most of the slashers from the 90s were pretty sucky. But, anyway, they had tons of those, but, they could, make a new, gory, splatter movie, slasher movie, because they do have plenty of splatter movies nowadays, but, a lot of the splatter movies that came out were from, like, the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, 70s and early 80s, and they need to make, like, more cannibal movies, like, the Zombie Holocaust. Everybody thinks, because it's got the word zombie in it, the whole movie's got a lot of zombies in it, but it's got more cannibals than zombies. It's got more stuff about the cannibals than zombies, and I even have that movie. It's pretty awesome. They just need to, we say that we want to stop saying the same thing over and over again, so we need to stop watching the same thing over and over again, I mean, one thing that I don't want to see any more of ever again is a zombie comedy movie, because the first time you see it, it's like the greatest thing ever. Everybody always thinks the first time they come out with a new comedy movie, it's the greatest movie of all time, and then years later, it's like, well, that movie was stupid. And, like, well, of course, it was always stupid, zombie comedies. The first year, everybody loves it. It's so funny. It's so great. Oh, what a wonderful idea to cross combine the zombie genre with the comedy genre. But then years later, people say that movie was stupid. It was always stupid. Like, it's not stupid one. It's not stupid one day, and then it's not. It's not normal one day and stupid the next. It's either stupid or it's not. Stop making zombie comedies. Stop making these ridiculous zombie apocalypse movies that don't make any sense. Four survivors in a small town infected with thousands and upon millions of zombies, in which they always have the name undead in it. But then, it's always these people that, normal living human beings that are infected with the rage virus. I mean, really. I mean, or mad cow disease or something like that. Mad cow disease doesn't make anybody insane, or cows. It doesn't make cows insane either. What mad cow disease does is anybody that's infected with it and does not cure it ever, first they become retarded, then they start becoming paralyzed, and then they die. That's what happens. They don't become insane and violent, and rabies doesn't really make people that violent. It raises your blood pressure and stuff like that, but it doesn't make you a psycho. It might make you kind of violent, a little bit violent, like and angry, but it doesn't make you that insane. And then the rage virus is always some kind of government experiment to cure something else, and it's like, why in the heck would you make a disease to cure another disease? I mean, I know they really have stuff like that, but if it's deadly and has all these horrible effects on the apes and stuff, why does the facility where they have it always end up exploding? It's like, you know how many times a government facility has exploded? Has blown up? Not that many times. Another thing, they keep coming out with these spoofs and, all this stuff, all these spoofs and, parodies of other movies. It's not funny anymore. And the same thing with, what was it, with zombie comedies. The first 2,000 years of the movie existing, you think it's the greatest thing ever, because it's a parody, because it's funny, but then years later you say it's stupid. Well, it's always stupid. It's either always stupid or always a good movie. It's not going to change from good to stupid, opinions change, but, at the end of the day, combining all opinions together, it always leads up to either the movie having, bad ratings or good ratings, And if tons and tons of people call it stupid and less people call it good, that means it's stupid, alright, So, that just stop, if you want to stop seeing the same old movies again, if you know a way to contact some kind of company, like Lionsgate or something, I don't know, send them an email or something, or just stop watching these movies that you say you don't want to see any more of, It doesn't make any sense. Why keep watching the same old movie if you don't want to see it ever again? Why? Don't do that, okay? I might have a part 2 on this, or I might just have, another video on my opinion in movies. I'm probably going to have my opinion of what they could, next video I'm going to make that's part of this same series, which is probably just going to be 2 parts. This one and the next one. It's just going to be, my opinion of what Hollywood should do with movies, and, this one was about how to, get it to happen. So, see you guys next time.